Welcome to the channel. Today I'll be teaching you about network models. So first of all, I'll teach you what is network model. What is a network model? So it provides a framework for understanding or analyzing computer networks, and it describes the functional layers of network and how data flows between them. And it is mostly used between in network models that are OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So to explain this simply, I'll tell you what is network model. It is the basic framework or the chassis for understanding and analyzing the computer networks, and it has functional layers of a network and how data flows between them. And it shows when a device sends data or receives data, what are the barriers, or what are the layers that act for the data transfer or data receiving to from one device to the another. So this is network model. So firstly, I'll be teaching you about the OSI model. What is OSI model? So, OSI model is a conceptual framework that standardizes how different network devices communicate, and it divides network communication into 7 layers. So, what is OSI model? It is a conceptual framework that standardizes how different devices and network devices communicate with each other, and it has basically 7 layers from which the data passes through. So I'll be teaching you about the OSI model and the 7 layers that OSI model has. The very first layer we have here is the physical layer, that is layer 1. What does it do? It transmits raw bits, that is zeros and ones, over a physical medium. So what does it do? It transmits raw bits. What are the raw bits here? Raw bits are the binary digits that are zeros and ones over a physical medium. And what is physical medium here? Physical medium here means cables, hubs, repeaters. I'll teach you. If you guys don't know what a hub means, repeater means, I'll tell you in the upcoming videos. I'll tell you each of the definition and what is the work of these things that I told you here, that is hubs and repeaters. And if I explain you simply what repeaters is, it is basically when you send a signal through a physical medium, like when you send a, for example, this is a hypothetical situation. There's a wire, there's a cable, and I send electric signals through the wire. At some point of time the electric signals get weak. This is a hypothetical situation, guys, I'm telling you guys about. So what does repeater do? Repeater just catches this electric that power or electricity, and it enhances it with the force, re-enhances with the force, and makes it travel more far in the wire. So main thing of repeater is to capture the signal and re-enhance the signal and send it to another source. This is what repeaters do. So, and the physical layer also deals with the physical transmission of data over cables wireless signals. So this is what I told you about physical layer. So in short, what does physical layer do? Physical layer, it deals with the physical transmission of raw bits, that is zeros and ones, over physical medium, and it transmits data over the cables or wireless signals as well. So this is what physical layer does. So the second point, or the second layer we have, is data link layer. What does data link layer do? It ensures error free delivery. What of what? It ensures error-free delivery of packages, bits, and frames. So, and it packages bits into frames. What we are doing in the physical layer is it was transmitting raw bits. So, what does data link layer do? It ensures error-free delivery. That is, there is no error in the bits that is transferred from the physical layer, and it sends it to the other source, and it packages the bits that were transferred from the physical layer into frames. So, what are the devices included or that are taken in use in the data link layer are switches and bridges. So I'll teach you about switches and bridges also in the upcoming videos as well. And also, what data link layer does is it helps in the flow control, and it ensures error-free delivery of the data that is to be sent. The third layer is the network layer. What does network layer do? Network layer is data from form is in packets here, and it handles routing and addressing, so data can travel from source to destination across multiple networks. So what does it do? It handles routing and addressing. Routing, what does routing here mean? Routing is like, for example, we take again a hypothetical situation where we talk about I send a letter to the post office, and I send a letter to someone else, and then I have to go to the post office, right? And I have to give them the letter. So what is the purpose of post office here? Why cannot I directly send the letter to the person that I want to send the letter to? So what does post office offer herein? So the post offer tells whether a letter is to be sent from X person to Y person. It tells you the address where does this letter need to go. Okay, so the network layers use is here is that it tells the data where to go, and it routes the area for the data to reach the given source. So data can travel from source to destination from across multiple networks. Simple as that. And the data here is in form of the packets. So it has traveled through frames to packets. First was in bits, then it was converted into uh, uh, bits to frames, frames to packets. So I'll teach you about the fourth layer, that is the transport layer. So what is transport layer? Transport layer is layer 4, and it ensures end-to-end communication between devices, and it also provides reliable delivery, that is retransmission if lost, and it also uh, uh, controls flow control and error detection. So I'll explain you this transport layer in simple terms. So what does it do? When, for example, we take again a hypothetical situation, there are two devices that need to communicate with each other. So it ensures, the transport layer ensures that the two devices that need to communicate with each other are end-to-end communication between the devices. Basically, no third person is allowed into the communication and cannot see the communication what the two devices are communicating for and what for. So, and it also ensures reliable delivery and retransmission. The retransmission thing that I've written here is basically, if, for example, I send a message to let's take my name as Mohit, and I have to send a message to Karan. So what I'll do, Mohit will send a message, if sends a message to Karan, and in between there are some errors in the bits or the frames. So what does transport layer do is it retransmits, and if I send hi to Karan, if Mohit sends hi to Karan, but the message that appears on the screen on Karan is HE instead of HI. So what does transport layer do? It ensures that this error does not occur. So what does it do? It retransforms or retransmits the bit, that I bit, instead of the E bit again, and the message will be conveyed as HI, that is the original format of that message. So this is what transport layer does. So then I'll teach you about session layer. Session layer is layer 5 in our thing in our the 7 layers out of 7 layers, and it manages and controls sessions or connections between applications. So when I talk about a person surfing on the Chrome, if you have ever seen when you or Chrome or have you ever operated a bank website? If you have ever operated a bank website, if you see that when you are connected onto the website, what it does is when you are operating on the website, it is fine. But if you leave the website for 10-15 minutes, or if you go away from your device and come back, it shows connection timed out. So what does session layer do here? It manages and controls sessions. That is, it connects the sessions or establishes the sessions between the two devices, or it disrupts or terminates the sessions and also manages the sessions between the two devices. And it also provides synchronization, which acts as checkpoints in long data transfers. So this is the use of, and this is the function of session layer. So after this, I'll teach you about presentation layer. What does presentation layer do? It converts data formats and handles encryption, compression of the data, and translation of the data. Sorry. Huh. I'll teach you about presentation layer. That is, it converts data formats. It converts data formats into different types of formats and handles encryption. It handles encryption of the data, and it compresses the data and also translates the data. This is what presentation layer does. Then there is application layer. Application layer is layer 7 in the 7 layers of OSI model. What does it do? It uh, it is closest to the end user. The end user is us. When we use a mobile device, when we try to send the data, the closest layer to us from these 7 layers is the application layer, and it also provides network services to the applications. So when we operate some applications, we are using application layer in this. So this is what OSI model is about, and these are the 7 layers that we learn about in the OSI model. So I have a quick trick that will help you remember the 7 different layers we have in the OSI model. So I'll tell you about a sentence. Remember this. It will help you in remembering the all the 7 layers in correct format. So we have all people seem to need data processing. Simple sentence, that is, I'll repeat it again. That is, all people seem to need data processing. What is all in the sentence? All mean. All means application. People means presentation. Seem means session. To means transport. Need means network. Data means data link. And processing means physical. So this is a simple method to remember the OSI model. And I'll show you guys a diagram for the OSI model as well. Hold on a second. So here is the diagram for OSI model, and we have sender that sends the data, receiver that receives the data. So we start from application layer. The data is near to the sender and away from the receiver. The second layer is the presentation layer. The data is one block away from the sender and one block closer to the receiver. Then there comes the session layer, which acts as a establishes sessions and disrupts the sessions or terminates the sessions. In this, we have two blocks. The data is 2 blocks away from the sender and closer to the 2 blocks closer to the receiver. Then the next layer is the transport layer. The fourth layer is the transport layer. In this, we have the data is 3 layers, 3 blocks away from the sender and closer to the 3 blocks closer to the transport receiver end. Then we have network layer. So network layer we have four blocks. The data is four blocks away from the sender, and four blocks closer to the receiver. Then we have data link layer. We have the data is 5 blocks away from the sender and 5 blocks closer to the receiver. Then there is the physical layer. Physical layer has is 6 blocks away from the data is 6 blocks away from the sender and 6 blocks closer or closer to the receiver. So this is it in the this is the diagram or pictorial representation of how data moves in OSI model. So I have made a summary table for OSI also. So I'll teach you about each layer, and I'll just teach you easily and in short forms that you can remember for exam point from the exam point of view in your exams. So I have this summary table. That is, we have three blocks which has layer, data unit, and function. We have to also remember the data units. I also told you guys in the starting of the videos. I taught you which data format all of these layers have, and I'll also tell you about the functions in simple or one lines. So we started from physical layer in the starting, so I'll also start this from the physical layer only. So what I taught you about physical layer is the data was in bits, that is zeros and ones. Got it? And it was function of the physical layer was to transmit was to use transmission mediums to make the data travel from one place to another. Then we have data link layer. What the data unit here is in frames. So the what is its use or function is, its function is to detect errors and MAC addressing to where the data is to be uh, transferred or traveled through. Then we have network layer. What does network layer do? Network layer does routing and addressing for the data and tells the data where to go, and the data unit is in packets here. Then we have transport layer. Transport layer, the data unit is in segments or datagrams. And what's its function is, it is reliable delivery. It provides reliable delivery and error checking. It checks if the data sent through is in the original form or it has been passed through errors and the data is corrupted, if the data is corrupted. And it also retransmits the corrupted data if the data is corrupted, and it retransmits the original format data to the receiver. Then there is session layer. The data unit is in data, and it manages sessions. Its main use is to manage sessions, that is establish sessions, terminate session, or manage the sessions. Then we have presentation layer. What does presentation layer do? It the Here also the data is into unit is into data, and it provides translation, encryption, and compression of the data. Then we have application layer. What does it do? It provides data. The data unit is into data here only, and it is user interaction services. Basically, application layer is the apps we use on the devices. So this is what OSI model is about. If you understood the video and understood the topic OSI model, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the video if you're watching here till now. Thank you.